Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Stockradar Stocks on the Move for another week. Today's date is the 24th of October 2024. My name is Richard Lee and I manage the stockradar.com.au website for you. Okay, well, what's changed? I mean, the market's had a bit of a bump the last couple of days, but not really as a lot's changed. So we're going to have a look at the indices later on to see where they are. But the media madness for a story and market hype that feeds the fear. Well, US elections, Minnnows fears, interest rate jitters, gold price frenzy, and super funds flooding the ASX with funds are amongst some of the stories the press are running with. So we're going to have a little bit of a look at this. We're going to take a deep breath, take a step back, and look at the charts which provide the inside info and the true perspective on what the insiders are doing. So I'm talking a bit about the charts today and how they can provide a bit of inside knowledge into what's actually going on rather than getting affected by all these news stories and things that are sort of battering our ears all the time, okay? So we're going to do that, and so firstly we're going to go to get the top 10 intensity ratings this week. Okay, now there's quite a few of them here, but I'm going to look at a couple here. You've got AMP, which has made a new break for new high territory. Emerald Resources, which has been going on quite nicely for a while. Bank of Queensland had a huge jump last week. Evolution's riding the gold wave. Genesis Minerals, you can see here, sparked higher again this week and last week. Macquarie Bank's doing very well. Newmont with the gold price. Ria is doing well. Remelis Resources, which we're going to look at later on, and also Telex Pharmaceuticals. So that's amongst a few of them there that are running along pretty well. There's other ones there on Stockradar for you to have a look at. Okay. As far as the stock pick update, we've got 4 new data items this week, 3 new stocks and 1 ETF. So we've now got 55 stock picks of 153 and 16 ETFs of 24. So that's what's happening. I mentioned to you in the start there, the mining Minnnows are sparking a bit of a buying wave. We're not huge on the small miners, but they are running well at the moment. And we've captured a few there. You can see Emerald Resource, which has been running since about January this year. And also, Genesis since about March. The other one's Newmont, Remelis since about April, and more recently we've seen Evolution and Capricorn Minerals come on board. But you can also see they're making some nice profits over here at the moment for us, and they're running along pretty well. We're not really seeing much movement in the big ones and Fortescues, BHPs of this world. So, but the smaller ones some of them are doing quite well, and some of the gold ones are doing quite well as well. So that's been quite a bit of fun for us. So let's now get to the overseas markets and go straight to the Dow Jones. Now, I know we've had two bad days this week, but really in the scheme of things, this is updated to last night. There's not a big change in what we're seeing here, really. Okay, so just take a deep breath, as I said before, and step back. We've seen these moves down before, sharp moves down, they've been bought up again. Not a lot's changed in what's happening out in the world as far as I'm concerned. The buying is still heavy, the market's still rising, the momentum is still good. Until things tell me they're changed, which they aren't, then I will change my view. But for the moment, everything looks okay. And we will have a look at the 10-year note a bit later on, just have a look at what's happening in the interest rate market. Not that I'm huge on that area, but it's worth having a little look at just to see what's going on from a chart perspective. Here's the Nasdaq. Well, it's at its highs and it's challenging those highs. It hasn't got through yet. We've got our support area down at S1, so we're going to watch that carefully. But for the moment, we're still up there. We've seen some nice buying, drive this market back up again. So, things are still okay. Nothing to be concerned about. S&P is a similar sort of thing, new high after new high after new high, and this is just a little dip the last couple of days, which is no big deal whatsoever. Okay, and even the volume really, although it's only 3 days for this week, it's not going to be excessive, so not too worried at the moment. Okay, just quick look at the 10-year note, which I talked about before. You can just see, you can just see how interest rates rise when this is going down. So interest rates have been rising for quite some time, and now we've got this big, we have the downtrend, the accumulation phase. We have an uptrend phase. So we're going to the downtrend phase. We look like we're in an accumulation phase now. Now we've seen the last few days of weakness, which means the bond yields have been rising. A bit of volume there, but really in the scheme of things, we're still in this big bottoming sort of pattern here. It could almost be an inverse head and shoulders, if you like, but there's no real concern to me at this stage. I know the market and the media are worrying about it, but not too concerned at the moment. So this, as I said before, this is still a part of the turning pattern as far as I'm concerned on the interest rates in the US market. Okay, let's go to look at our market for the moment. It's come off. It'll probably be a little bit weaker today. But still, again, we've had some massive rises here, some great stocks running really well for us at the moment. So we're just happy that we're in that space. All our portfolios are generally full at the moment, with some very healthy stocks running very well. Pro Medicus and Telex and Wesfarmers and IAG and all these stocks that are running nicely for us. So we're very happy at the moment. Okay, now we can go to the gold market, which just keeps making new highs, which is really exciting for all the gold bugs. We have a couple of goldies there. We've got the big one, Newmont, in there. So we are getting a bit of a lift in there from our portfolios, but it's been a really massive move since this big breakout, and it's still going high, and there's no sign of it stopping at the moment. Okay, copper, well, a bit more sadness on this side of things. It's just struggle city. Copper, really, we looked at this last week. The longer term picture here really is, if we just go back to there, you can just see it's come off here. We've got the big bullish picture still looking at us in the face there of lower highs, higher lows here, pushing at this big resistance here. This obviously is our key zone for Dr. Copper to break through if we're going to really see some movements on the upside there. But for the moment, no good. That's things like Rio and BHP not responding to that at the moment. Okay, Brent crude again. Well, it's just a sad old story. It's just going down, pressure's down. The support level is holding for the moment, but still it's been worked over pretty hard, and we can just see still more lower highs here, which is really going to push some pressure here, and it could break in the end. So that's what it looks like to me at the moment. But the trend is down, so I guess I'm always going to err on the downside. It's like with the stocks that I'm running, and I'm not worried about the stocks that are going up because the trend's up. So for here, the trend is down. We've got a big support level here, so it's worth respecting that for sure. But overriding it is the overall downtrend there. So it's possible this might eventually break down if it cannot unearth a decent rally. Okay, so that is the stocks I want to talk to you about today. The commodities. I want to go to some stocks today. I've only got a few stocks today, 5 stocks for you today. But there's a reason for it, because they're all bucking the trend a little bit. They're maintaining certain levels. Now, Qantas is an interesting situation here. Really Qantas, there's no real yield. There's no real bull story. People are sort of very wary of it. Competition is flaring from Qatar. But all we have is really an uptrend. And that's flying in the face of all those sort of things. So really, it's making new highs. It's had a great week this week. Why it's happening, I don't know, but it's going up. And so I want to be on it. It's making a new high. It's in an uptrend phase. So for me, Qantas is still holding as a buy. Volume's reasonable, good down here. Momentum's pretty good. So, and it's making these all-time highs. If we just go back here, we can see the old high back there. And this is how it looks. Pretty bullish to me at the moment. Okay, so of course stops in place to make sure if things go wrong that we get out. But for the moment, Qantas is rising, and really when we look at this, it has gone from the last October it was $4.70. It is now $7.80. So it's jumped $3 in the last year. It's a lot of rally, a big rise. And all in the face of all this big worry about what's going to happen with Qantas and competition. So it's one of these things that where we get this inside information from what the actual buyers are actually doing, not what the markets tell us and what we think. It's what the actual buyers are doing, and they're pushing this price high and they are buying it. Okay, so that's the simple story there from us from a chart perspective. Similar things with Stockland. Also, Stockland, the story in the property market has been better. This is more of a retail venture, this one. But it is now looking at all-time highs there. We've got these higher lows, which are supporting this stock. We've got some nice volume down here, which has been supporting these big rallies. And we've also got very good volume, very good momentum here. So this is now the big challenge for, for Stockland. Up here at about $5.30. If it gets through there, it will probably join the property party and start moving higher there. So keep an eye on Stockland. The buyers are in there, and the buyers are pushing this stock higher. Okay, I mentioned to you another little gold stock before, Ramelius Resources. It's been an interesting picture for quite a long time here, and we see the long-term downtrend here, which went from 2020 to 2023. Then we saw a switch zone here where we broke through our average and our little horizontal resistance line and our downtrend line, which gave us a turning point there. And since then, the stock has behaved exactly like a bull stock would. It's been sparking higher, drifting lower, sparking higher, drifting lower. So you can see these spikes. It spikes higher, and spiking higher again at the moment as it moves towards these highs. So this is a very interesting situation here. We've got a very, very bullish development of an uptrend here, high highs, high lows clearly, and now we're looking at a major new high here above R1, which is above about 250 there. So Ramelius Resources, the gold stock, the gold price may well push this through, which is quite an exciting time. So are we entering one of these phases where things are going to go a bit crazy? Well, I don't know, but certainly if Ramelius Resources can push through this highs, it's an exciting move for this stock. Considering it was about 60 cents a couple of years ago, it's now around 240 and doing very nicely. Thank you very much. Okay, now the next one I have a look at is another one, which is an interesting stock because it's so high in price. It's about $80 this one, and we're just looking at this last recent high we took above $65 back in July this year. It's now just above $80, but the stock has been performing well. If we just look at the pattern here, we can see some good buying that pushed this rally here. Then we saw a big selling challenge up here. You can see the sellers jumped into the market here, but didn't really push the price down very much. The buyers were pretty resilient, and since then it's gone a bit quiet. The volumes are low, momentum steadied off, the price is just jumping around, but no real selling. There's not much, there's no aggressive selling. The market's holding up very nicely, even with this week, which has been quite a negative week. And realistically, JB Hi-Fi could well be a $100 stock not too far from here because the way it's behaving is really quite bullish. It is a great stock. People love the stock. They want to hold it. They're a little bit wary that it's so high in price, but it still yields reasonably, even though it is at a high price. But realistically, we're a trend follower, and the trend is up for JB Hi-Fi. So we hold this, and we just keep lifting our stop on this one, and hoping we might see some more rallies there because it is looking very, very well underpinned, if you like. That's the word I'm looking for, I think. So JB Hi-Fi, an exciting stock there. Okay, now I'm just going to move down to the lower end. So they're the four stocks I really want to talk to you about today. Qantas is a very interesting picture, I think, as well as Stockland, Ramelius Resources and JB Hi-Fi. All different stocks from different parts of the world. They're all promising some pretty good good futures, I think, for the moment. So now we get into Regis Resources, the other little gold stock I want to have a look at. It's been a bit slow to move off the mark, this one, but it's an interesting picture now. If we look at this, if I just go down here, you can see the big picture here from Regis, the big downtrend we had from 2020 to 2022, where it dropped from about $6 to about $1.50, pretty savage blow. That's why we use stops. We don't like being involved in those sorts of things, and it happens. But here we are now, we've got this big accumulation pattern occurring now, and after an accumulation pattern we get the uptrend phase. So now we're looking at the possible uptrend phase as it now starts to break out of this big accumulation phase it's been in. It's broken above about 240 there, and it's now about 270. We've got some good volume here, momentum's picking up, it's above the average. Looks like an exciting prospect to me. Trend intensity rating of +10. So that's a small one. We don't cover it in our stock pick in our Stockradar group, but I always like to have a little look at one of those smaller ones just for a bit of interest. And this is a very, very a pretty valid pattern. When you get the picture as clear as this, it's certainly worth looking at and certainly worth following. Again, we always work with stops to make sure we're protected, but really the outlook for Regis Resources looks very promising, and considering what gold's doing, it's finally jumping on the bandwagon here, and again, it could be an exciting mover, this one. Okay, so that's Regis Resources. So that's all the stocks I want to go through for you today. Fairly short and sharp, but you can see there's good potential there. We don't need a lot of stocks, we just need a few, and we'll make some good money. Okay, so I have one more slide I just wanted to show you here. Really just becoming an insider. It's all about what the charts are saying. As I said, we've got lots of news, lots of things affecting the market, US elections, gold prices, super funds, all this sort of stuff affecting us, and we also wonder what we're going to do. But if we look at a chart, and hopefully I've shown you today, it can clarify the picture for you very simply. And that's what we use it, because all the people in this buying these stocks, they're telling us what they're doing, and it's really great information for you. When you see that, you can see what they're buying, where they're buying, how much they're buying, all this sort of stuff. So it provides a very, very useful bit of information for us, just simply looking at a chart, as long as you know how to read them properly. So becoming an insider, the only stock market advice you can trust is the price action. The price never lies. So that's really my thingo today, or what I'm all about. Fairly simple picture. As I'm a simple person, I only got a couple of exits and a simple trailing stop to trade my portfolios. But there you have it. That's what's happening at the moment. So we don't. Sometimes we don't need reasons. We just need to follow the trend of the insiders, and that will help us keep us on the right side of the market. Okay, so as you know, you can always subscribe to my free blog, take a trial, jump into one of my portfolios. They're all doing very nicely at the moment. Now's the time we want to make some money, so that's good. And you can also look at my trading center. Some people just use me for perspective, just to get an idea of what's going on in the market, what I'm thinking about, what stocks are trending, what stocks are not trending, what the trending attributes are, where my trend intensity rating is, all those sort of things. All the information is available in the trading center. And you saw briefly the trading center here, just a little window of the minerals sector there, just a small group of the stocks there, just as to how I set this information out and how I provide it to you, nice and simply and clearly. Okay, so watch your trends, heed your stops, stay safe, have fun, and I'll see you all next week. Thanks very much.